At African Jesuit AIDS Network, we believe in Jesus' ministry of care and compassion for all. That is why we have been working for 20 years to help in the prevention and care for those already affected by the HIV/AIDS virus across sub-Saharan Africa. This is our story, a story of compassion, mercy, and hope among those stigmatized and crucified by the HIV and AIDS virus.
20 years is a long time in the life of any organization. I believe that the fact that we're here 20 years after AJAN was founded is really first an occasion to give thanks to God and to thank all the people who have made the work of AJAN possible. And first among these really are the people who have lived with HIV and AIDS and people who have suffered the consequences and the effects of this terrible disease, and those whose lives continue to be impacted by this disease. So on this occasion of the 20th anniversary of AJAN, it's time to thank God, look back, take stock, and then assess, where's God calling us to the next 20 years?
20 years ago, Peter Hans Korvenbach, the 29th Superior General of the Society of Jesus, the Jesuit Conference of Africa and Madagascar, the Jesuit Social Apostolate Coordinator in Africa, Father Ferdinand Muhigirwa, and Cardinal Michael Cheney, head of the Vatican Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development, founded AJAN. The first director of AJAN explains how 20 years ago AJAN was formed to respond to the signs of the time, that is, HIV/AIDS.
AJAN was born 30 years ago because thanks to Father Korvenbach and the leadership of the Jesuits in Africa, the Society was able to discern HIV/AIDS as a sign of the times, as a place of suffering in human experience, which so much needed the good news, the healing, the reconciliation which Jesus offers us. And so over the years, this sign of the times has continued to be the opportunity for the Jesuits in Africa and Madagascar to serve people who so much need the healing touch of our Lord.
The president of the Jesuit Conference of Africa and Madagascar explains to us how AJAN is still relevant.
AJAN gives the Society of Jesus in Africa and beyond an opportunity really to be in touch with people at the grassroots level. That is, people who live with this disease and people who have very little resources to cope with the devastating effects of this disease. And it's also an opportunity, really a privilege for the Society through AJAN to be able to walk with them, especially the excluded, the marginalized, as we promised we would do in our universal apostolic preference.
AJAN supports 21 Jesuit social centers across Africa and Madagascar. The network responds to the needs of persons affected by HIV/AIDS through educating orphans, psychosocial support, testing, giving HIV/AIDS medications, and value-based a happy program meant to empower the youth with knowledge about HIV/AIDS in Africa, as well as life skills and making right choices to live a balanced life and protect the planet. As Father Ismail, the director of AJAN, explains.
AJAN, as you know, is an African Jesuit AIDS network, which is a work of the Jesuits in Africa and Madagascar, which generally is coordinating the activities of Jesuits in Africa, Jesuits who are fighting against HIV and AIDS, and all who are involved in youth development and accompanying the youth fighting against poverty and any other challenges that the young people are facing. We are from the south to the north, and then I can start in Madagascar. We have a center there, and then Zimbabwe, Zambia. Then we have in DRC. We have in Rwanda, in Burundi. We have in Central Africa Republic, in Benin, in Togo, in Liberia, Guinea, Conakry, and then. As he said, we're still really expanding so that we are able to access more people. And then again, we have Uganda, we have Kenya, is actually where the network is actually based.
No one would imagine that 20 years later, AJAN would still be relevant. And that is why Jesuits in Africa give gratitude to God.
Bonjour, je suis le Père Vedas Tingeshimana, je suis jésuite burundais et actuellement directeur exécutif du service Yezumiza. Le service Yezumiza est une organisation qui a été initiée en 2008 dans le but de promouvoir la santé intégrale de la population burundaise avec une option préférentielle pour les populations les plus démunies, les plus nécessiteuses. L'organisation donc est membre du réseau jésuite africain contre le VIH, membre d'AJAN, et c'est dans ce cadre de 20 ans d'anniversaire d'AJAN que je vous partage ce que nous avons fait, soutenu bien sûr par AJAN. Le service Yezumiza, donc comme dès sa fondation, est une organisation impliquée à plein temps dans la lutte contre le VIH-Sida. Et qu'est-ce que nous faisons? Nous avons des activités de prévention de la transmission du VIH à travers le pays par des sensibilisations. Nous avons des activités de prévention de la transmission du VIH de la mère à l'enfant. Et pour ceux qui sont déjà contaminés, nous avons des activités de prise en charge médicale, psychosociale et d'accompagnement pour que les personnes vivant avec le VIH puissent vivre dignement. En plus de ces activités donc de prévention et de prise en charge, nous avons des activités pour soutenir la jeunesse, les jeunes qui sont liés et qui sont affectés par le VIH ou parfois même infectés, pour les aider à grandir, à avoir un avenir plus brillant. Et donc, les bénéficiaires de nos activités, ce sont les personnes, bien sûr, qui vivent avec le VIH, ce sont les enfants affectés par le VIH, Et plus récemment, nous avons aussi des personnes affectées ou infectées par la lèpre et que nous aidons à se réinsérer économiquement dans la communauté pour aussi vivre dignement. Donc, depuis la création du service Yezumiza, nous avons encadré des gens dans des activités génératrices de revenus et jusqu'à aujourd'hui, nous avons encadré plus de 15 000 personnes dans des activités génératrices de revenus. Nous avons accompagné 205 mamans qui ont mis au monde des enfants et bien sûr sans VIH. Et même si on a eu un cas de VIH parmi ces enfants lié peut-être à non-observance par les parents, mais on peut se féliciter qu'il y ait eu 204 enfants qui vivent sans VIH, des parents contaminés par le VIH. Nous avons déjà touché plus de 45 000 personnes par des séances d'éducation à la promotion de la santé globale. Ça, ce sont des activités justement de sensibilisation. Nous avons fait beaucoup de visites médicales justement pour la prise en charge des gens qui sont référés dans les centres spécialisés et on doit les visiter pour nous enquérir, suivre la santé de nos bénéficiaires.
My name is Ernest Ndiembele. I am a Jesuit priest, Rwandan, currently serving as the director of Jesuit Rumuri Center. Jesuit Rumuri Center is the social center of Jesuit fathers here in Rwanda, located in Kigali. It has been in existence for close to 30 years now. Since 2016, the activities that we carry out are divided into 3 programs. The first program concerns the promotion of value-based education and dignity of human person. In this program is where we collaborate closely with AJAN in its project of a happy generation, where we promote value-based education in 13 partner schools in the city of Kigali. Here also, we help in the organization of Catholic social teaching. The second program concerns social innovation and social entrepreneurship for self-sustainability of vulnerable members of our community. In this category, we help university graduates who are unemployed but who have businesses or business ideas by giving them skills which help them to run those businesses effectively. The third program concerns research, publication, and advocacy. In this, we are proud that in this year, in March, we have published the findings of a research we have conducted on domestic violence in Rwanda. And then another successful event we have accomplished in this category is a groundbreaking international conference on Laudato Si, which engaged the youth of Great Lakes region of Africa. And one of the outcomes of the conference was that there was a need to promote the awareness about environment in high schools. And this year we are running a project which aims at promoting the awareness of environment conservation and protection among youth of high schools.
My name's Father Gregory Mulobela, and I'm the director for Chikuni Parish Home-Based Care. Happy to share with the wider AJAN family this 20th anniversary as a family at the service of the people on the margins of society, especially those affected and infected by HIV and AIDS. Chikuni Parish Home-Based Care is very much happy to be part of this celebration. We've been at the service of our community for almost 22 years now. So when the African Jesuit AIDS Network came on board, we had already started with our own baby steps to respond to the HIV and AIDS pandemic in the Greater Chikuni Mission, the southern part of Zambia in Monze district. And through the past 20 years, we've carried out a number of activities that have empowered people that are living with HIV and AIDS. When we started 20 years ago, it was at the height of the pandemic in our community area. So there was a lot of stigma and people were bedridden. We started by simply carrying out home visits to those who were bedridden because of HIV and AIDS, and hence the tag which we maintain till today, home-based care. So that was our first activity. Those who were diagnosed with HIV and AIDS, were kind of like left in their homes, in their families, in this rural area to just kind of like wait for death. But through the home visits that we introduced 20 years ago, we started sharing hope with those sick in the community. And from then on, we have a privilege that we have a radio station in our community area, and we began sensitization to try and reduce stigma in the community, and even just the sharing of general information on HIV and AIDS, how it's transmitted, how it can be prevented. So we reached across many people in our community, the young people, men and women, in schools, in communities. We even had drama groups just that went full out sensitizing the communities under the prevention umbrella. And when we look back at these 20 years, we are confident to say, I think we got this message across to over 100,000 people in our catchment area, and even those that came for different activities in the community. For instance, this same community hosts the Tonga Music Festival, which again gathers thousands of people each year, and that has been happening for the past 20 years, and every time people...
Voilà, je suis Séverin Mokoko, un prêtre jésuite, et actuellement à la direction du centre Maïcha, qui est une réponse pastorale des jésuites de Kisangani aux différents défis de notre société, suivant évidemment les orientations de la mission de la compagnie des Jésuites et de l'Église en général. Pour faire face à ces défis, les centres Maïcha organisent une variété d'activités. Nous avons par exemple la sensibilisation de la jeunesse sous forme de conférences débats, vidéoforums, causeries éducatives, journées récréatives, sessions de formation sur l'écologie, le reboisement, l'hygiène, l'accompagnement psychosocial et spirituel des personnes vivant avec le VIH et des orphelins, etc. Donc il y a toute une gamme d'activités que le centre Maïcha organise ici. Bon, comme je l'ai dit tantôt, c'est auprès des jeunes que nous orientons la majorité de nos activités. Et les personnes vulnérables et celles qui vivent avec le VIH-Sida. Mais cela n'empêche qu'on touche les autres couches de la société. Je prendrai en exemple les activités d'assainissement organisées dans les différents marchés de Kisangani, concernent toutes les couches de la société. Ça, il me faudra prendre le statut, voilà. Depuis sa création, il y a 20 ans, le centre a réalisé tout au moins 4411 activités. Et de ces 4411 activités, le centre a touché 3 460 916 personnes, dont 1 630 331 femmes et 1 830 585 hommes. Et je crois qu'il y a beaucoup de témoignages autour de tout cela. Et on a orienté 6 724 personnes pour les conseils et dépistages volontaires. Et on a aidé 325 orphelins, dont 175 filles et 150 hommes. Et sur ces 325 orphelins, on a eu à recevoir 41 diplômés. Et bon, depuis le début aussi, on a déjà accompagné 436 PVV, enregistrés évidemment, et parmi lesquels on a enregistré 152 décès. Et sur les 284, pour l'instant, nous avons que 72 qui sont réguliers, qui viennent ici aux réunions. Les 212 sont perdus dans la nature ou bien en voyage et ainsi de suite. Alors, je crois qu'on a eu 192 activités avec activités génératrices de revenus.
Bonjour à l'équipe, à toute l'équipe d'AJAN. Bonjour aux membres du réseau. Moi, c'est Madame Ouedraogo Félicienne Marie-Christine, épouse Zongo. Je suis présidente de l'association Les Bénévoles de l'Espérance, en abrégé ABE, et je suis cofondatrice de l'association avec le père Boïtisolo Augustin de Vénérée Mémoire. Le centre a été créé en 2006 et elle a été reconnue officiellement par le ministère de l'administration territoriale et aussi par le ministère de la Santé du Burkina Faso. Elle a pour vision de créer un environnement propice à l'épanouissement de la personne vivant avec le VIH et les orphelins et enfants vulnérables dans leur milieu de vie sans discrimination ni stigmatisation. Sa mission est de contribuer à la réduction de la pauvreté résultant de l'infection à VIH et d'autres maladies et aussi l'atteinte des 3,90 de l'ONU-SIDA. Ses valeurs, c'est l'équité, la valorisation de la femme, la lutte efficace contre le VIH-SIDA, l'amour des PEVIH et des orphelins enfants vulnérables et le meilleur de soi-même. Elle intervient dans la lutte contre le VIH il y a de cela 16 ans. Les activités du centre. Nous avons la prise en charge psychologique. Et dans la prise en charge psychologique, nous faisons des visites à domicile et des visites à l'hôpital, des groupes de parole, des entretiens psychologiques et le soutien moral. Il y a aussi la prise en charge sociale. Et dans ce volet, il y a le soutien alimentaire, économique, la scolarité des orphelins enfants vulnérables. Il y a des visites à l'école qu'on faisait pour ces enfants qu'on scolarise. Il y a la distribution des vivres et aussi des vêtements aux OEV. Il y a aussi les AJAN que nous faisons pour les personnes vivant avec le VIH adulte. Nous n'allons pas oublier parce qu'il y a la prévention. Lors des grandes campagnes de dépistage, nous participons donc en dépistant en faisant le dépistage du VIH. Il y a aussi la sensibilisation que nous faisons, les causeries éducatives, la santé sexuelle et reproductive. Il y a aussi la formation des jeunes sur le document Génération Heureuse. Maintenant, il y a aussi la prise en charge sanitaire et dans ce volet, nous avons l'aide à l'observance pour aider les PVH à avoir une charge virale indétectable, l'éducation thérapeutique du patient, les achats des médicaments de spécialité pour les PVH dans le besoin et aussi la prise en charge de certaines infections opportunistes. Quels sont nos bénéficiaires? Qui servons-nous? Nos bénéficiaires, ce sont les personnes vivant avec le VIH, hommes, femmes, enfants, les orphelins, enfants vulnérables et aussi les jeunes. Le centre, depuis sa création, à son ouverture en 2006, s'est ouvert avec 20 personnes vivant avec le VIH dans une situation de grande précarité. Et depuis ce temps, le chiffre ne fait qu'augmenter. Le centre a accompagné, depuis son ouverture, durant les 16 ans, plus de 1000 personnes vivant avec le VIH et plus de 1500 orphelins enfants vulnérables. Elle a dépisté plus de 800 jeunes et 300 adultes contre le VIH-Sida lors des campagnes de dépistage VIH et sensibiliser plus de 700 jeunes des lycées et des centres de formation sur le VIH et sur les drogues.
Greeting from Uganda. My name is Tolit Robert, TOT, Happy, and a coordinator for a Happy program in Uganda. Initially at Oche Campion, Jesuit College, and currently establishing a Happy program in Padibe Secondary School, all found in northern Uganda, actually region. Now, the centers implement the Happy objectives, the vision, the mission, and the goal of the Happy initiated under AJAN African Jesuit AIDS Network. This is done through training of learners and creating HIV and AIDS awareness and accompanying the young people using the happy manual or the curriculum that has been well organized by the African Jesuit AIDS Network through, of course, as I said, training of learners workshop and radio talk shows through the local radio stations, symposium. We have made number of symposiums. The last one, which is the video is to be undertaken, is for the AJAN anniversary, celebrating the ignition here. Debating is also one of the ways we are implementing the happy program. Music, dance, and drama, among us the rest. This is what we do at the center. Of course, the community outreach, I can't count them. It is activities that the learners have honed and they do it by themselves. And they work together, of course, in coordination with the programs that do appreciate the happy output. We serve youth in the northern region, especially the school-going age, that is primary and secondary school. The center has reached 69% of the youth population of the school-going age in the region, and about 30% of the youth in the region is still being accompanied by the happy project or program, which is being undertaken in Oche Campion Jesuit College, Gulu, and currently it is being established in Lamore district in the northern Uganda. A happy program is very much important because from the impact of those that have undergone the happy training or their happy beneficiaries, a number of things have been noticed, among which includes the positive growth and development, equipping the young people with accurate information about HIV and AIDS, the values and virtues and the principles in life, in line with what the goal of a happy requires.
My name is Father Michael Edomobi, SJ. I'm a Jesuit. I am the parish priest of Holy Family Catholic Church in Monrovia, and I am the national director of AJAN in Liberia. We carry out capacity building programs for the youth, especially with the A Happy Generation program. During this period, we were able to train over 50 young people. We trained them on HIV and AIDS prevention activities, and then we were able also to give them IEC materials, which we are used to conduct peer education for the program. We also mobilize young people for the grand event that we had in December 2021, where more than 100 young people from the church, from the school, from the community fully participated. Over 50 persons were cancelled. 42 were tested among them, and over 30 plus we are tested for the first time in the voluntary counseling and testing done. We partnered with Mother Pattern, is a college of health science school, who they are neighbors here, and they helped with carrying that out, conducting the VCT program. So before this time, we had worked in schools, creating awareness and sensitizing people on the importance of HIV and AIDS prevention. We also created health clubs in our schools, where young people gathered together and being, educated on what to do on prevention of HIV and AIDS.
So the Integral Youth Development Program in Zimbabwe is part of a larger initiative of programming and initiatives that we do to accompany the youth. As you might already be aware, the key issues that we have, the Universal Apostolic preferences for these coming 10 years for the Jesuits, one of them is accompanying the youth to a hope-filled future. So we try to find programs and initiatives that are going to be accompanying these youth, whether in spirituality, whether in matters to do with moral and civic education, sexuality, as is the case with AJAN. What we are trying to do is to build a holistic program for the youth, which involves their development physically, socially, spiritually, even religiously. We try to do that. Our program is found in schools. So we work mainly with Youth Against AIDS clubs or Lifelines projects, programs in schools, where we develop programs, in this case with AJAN. Our main thrust is to use the Happy module, which is a module that is integral and tries to create good habits among students, sexual habits, sexual reproductive health, and especially identity related matters to do with us as Africans. So as the Integral Youth Development Program, that's what we are focusing on. We currently find ourselves in almost 30 schools where we have Youth Against AIDS clubs or Lifelines clubs. And we work alongside the teachers and students. The teachers are the matrons and the patrons of these organizations. Then we have local leadership among the students who then help other students. Among the other issues that we work with are the Laudato Si generation. Laudato Si generation, we're trying to equip students, especially in schools, and young people in general, to be able to be conscious of the environment, climate change, and many other issues that affect the world today, especially to do with climate. Pray, Register, Vote is part of another initiative that we have as Integral Youth Development Program. What we're trying to do here in Jesuit Youth Office in Zimbabwe is try to encourage students to be politically conscious and politically active. That's one of the key issues to do that is to pray and discern, then go to register, and on actual day, vote. Then maybe afterwards to protect their vote. But so far, we are running with a theme or a tagline which says, pray, register, vote. That is part of our initiative or part of our initiatives at the Jesuit Youth Office.
Greetings from Madagascar. I'm Cyprian Razafanandraina, a Jesuit priest and the director of Centre Route Madagascar, CAMDJ. After studying social sciences in the Catholic University of Central Africa, UCAC, in Yaoundé, Cameroon, I was working in various apostolic fields like youth chaplain, countryside parish, and university chaplain. And since 2012, I have been sent here in CAMDJ is a Jesuit work, so automatically Roman Catholic work that is promoting a faith doing justice. We had our first strategic plan between 2016, 2019, and we are in the second one now, from 2020 to 2025. The CMMDJ vision is for more just society, viable world, and a more livable environment. Our tasks are based on formation and research for looking for sustainable solutions of our society problems, especially in favor of poor people, economically, socially, politically, culturally, religiously, and ecologically. What we are doing is actually in the vision of the universal apostolic preferences AUPs of the Society of Jesus. The purpose of all activities is the Jesus mission. That means conducting people to His and our God Father through social and environmental engagement. The main beneficiaries are the poor and youth people. CAMDJ has 4 programs: the Health and Family one, PSF, then the Citizens Participation and Economic Efficiency, PCE, the Research and the Documentations, PRD, and lastly, the Environment and Sustainable Development, EDD. How are we working? All activities are oriented to the formation and research. For the formation, we target the leaders in the various associations which are committed in the field which exist for strengthening their capacities. Then they bring to the members of their respective association. 25 people participated to each formation, and during the year every program organizes 2 formations. So totally and yearly, at least we form 200 leaders who are able to transmit the received values throughout Madagascar. For the PSF especially, the most ancient program because it is born with the CMDJ, 17 years old and 3 years after AJAN. The PSF is working like the others programs for the poor, the excluded people, the youth. But the specificity of it is the field of family and health. It works with other NGOs and government organizations. Since 2 years, the program has been committed in the fight against girls and women violence. For me, AJAN has been working for the sick people who are also sons and daughters of God. Since it continues to serve these people and the others, it has its results.
Over the years, AJAN has continued to expand its horizon to other areas such as accompanying prisoners and youth in the correctional centers in Kenya, as well as building the capacity of prisons officers.
Develop programs that will be used on the ground by the centers which are kind of implementing what has been developed from the secretariat. And again, we also do capacity building because the centers, affiliate centers, needs support. Our mission is also to support them in terms of training, in terms of giving them more capacity to be more efficient in their work on the ground.
As an organization, what AJAN is trying to do now is to position itself in a better space to respond not only to a medical crisis, but really a social, economic, and political crisis, which is what HIV and AIDS really is. So it's about networking with other like-minded organizations. It's about creating opportunities for advocacy with governments, non-governmental institutions, international organizations. It's about responding to issues of justice and ethics that relate to living with HIV and AIDS, or the kind of environment that continues to facilitate the infection of people. So AJAN is focusing a lot now on young people through its A-Happy program and other similar initiatives, so that people get the kind of education, the kind of formation they need to cope with the challenges of HIV and AIDS, not only as a disease, but as a threat, to their existence, to their future, and to their collective survival.
Uzima and Upendo are programs run by Jesuits in Kangemi. These programs transform the lives of women, families, and children affected by HIV/AIDS in Kangemi and other parts of Nairobi.
Uzima mwaka 2019 nilikuja Uzima wakati nilikuwa nachukua dawa kwa hospitali pale St. Joseph. Nikawa mgonjwa, nilikuwa na H. pylori, nikawa sina venye naweza tibiwa, vipimo sina venye naweza pimwa, lakini wakati nilikuja Uzima walinilipia hiyo pesa yote, nikapewa dawa za kids, nikameza, nikamaliza. Wakati nilimaliza, nikaendelea kukuja Uzima kupata ushauri na kufanya, tukakuja tukajiunga kikundi, tukawekwa kwa mradi wa kuku. Tumekuwa tukifuka kuku na Uzima, wanatupea kitu kidogo, naenda kukula na watoto.
Uzima Women Initiative is among the programs we've been learning. Jesuits have been learning since 2004, and our main objective was to empower women and also medical kit, where we've been helping them to get some basic medical care, especially for opportunistic diseases. So we've been working with our sister project here, St. Joseph Dispensary. So we normally follow women to get some medical help, and depending on the funds pertaining, we've been having kitties where we are even go an extra mile of helping these ladies with food, psychosocial support. This particular place here, they could come here to meet so that we can help them to overcome the stigma of HIV/AIDS.
Kuanzia ile 2019, Uzima imekuwa ikituprovide chakula kwa nyumba yangu. Imekuwa ikituprovide hii korona yote tulikuwa tunakuja Uzima, wanatupea chakula ya mwezi mmoja. Ninaenda ninakula na watoto wangu kwa sababu kazi iliisha. Ukienda mahali penye nilikuwa naendanga kusimama kwa gate, ndio napata naitwa nioshe vyombo. Unaambiwa uko na corona, huwezi ingia. Lakini Uzima ilisimama na mimi, na si mimi peke yangu. Ilisimama na kikundi yote ya Uzima. Sasa mimi ninafurahia na Uzima kwa sababu ilinipea bidii, kwa sababu stress peke yake ingenichapa. Gozi nilikuwa sina penye naweza kukimbilia. Nikiwa nyumba yangu haina chochote, nilikuwa nakimbianga Uzima.
For the 20 years we've been working with AJAN. We've been having projects where we have empowerment. AJAN could help us to ensure that these women get something, at least they can grow mboga mboga. Those who have other projects, we can come in and at least help them to find a way of supporting their families, getting skills in vocation courses like tailoring, electronics, hair and beauty, so that we believe that once women are empowered, they don't fall prey of men who could want to take advantage of them, and some of these men in the slum setting, some can be affected.
Over the years, AJAN, through its A Happy program, has been creating a culture of an AIDS-free society by empowering youth through capacity building and coming up with interventions aimed to reduce behaviors that make individuals more vulnerable to becoming infected or infecting others with HIV. John Fisher, teacher in charge of A Happy program at St. Aloysius, Gonzaga, had this to say.
Activities in the school in regard to A Happy. When we started in 2014, we started by grouping our students into families. We had our staffs trained by A Happy personnel or AJAN personnel, and after the training we grouped our students into families, at least one trained staff to take care of 6 girls, 6 boys. So we would meet on a weekly basis. Thereafter, on an annual basis, we always engage in AIDS awareness week, where we do different kinds of activity. We had AIDS walk, where we invite other schools around to join the rest of our students, just to create awareness among the community around.
AJAN would not be successful without the support of donors, and we acknowledge everyone who has helped AJAN achieve its mission of mercy and compassion.
By the Jesuit Africa community, AJAN to be precise. And firstly, this AIDS awareness program is very much important for young people, most especially in our country, Liberia. Since I joined this program, this initiative, since 2021, I've learned a whole lot about HIV and AIDS that has to do with the causes of AIDS and also the preventions of AIDS. And I'm now serving as an evangelist, like an ambassador, wherein I'm spreading the message. That is, I'm a peer-to-peer educator. We go to schools. We had awareness the last time wherein we were talking to people, telling them the importance of knowing your HIV and AIDS status. And we also check our status.
Since we started in 2004, directly beneficiaries could be around 204 onwards directly. But we believe that by helping these ladies, this girl, one way or another, we also have some indirectly beneficiaries who are quite many since that time. Because if you help, like for example, a mama to meet her medical bills, one way or another she will be able to, like a surplus she has to take care of her children.
Hata hizi sukuma nikipata kidogo, nikipanda hivi nakula na watoto, nikipata unga nakula na watoto.
The significance of AJAN today, I could say, is that we offer other support to the orphans, because HIV and AIDS has another impact, that there are children who are orphans and they are left without any support. And so those children in the grassroots, they are supported by the centers, affiliated centers, in terms of health, in terms of providing from their necessary for their school and any other thing that they need, so that they grow up in an environment which is more conducive for them in a good way. And with that, we will be able now to protect them against any other violence or abuse that they could face. So we are on a mission of the church, of the mission of the society, which really started, as I said, this mission of AJAN started 20 years ago. And so the significance for us today is first a moment of gratitude. Gratitude to God's, to recognize God's work in our different works in the different countries, and again to recognize God's work in the collaborators and partners, and those who are really involved with us and who are supporting us in this work. That's one meaning, significance that we give to this celebration. The other one is that we are looking back and celebrate all these lives which were saved from dying very quickly, because now with the service they were received, they were able to access medicine, they were able to access other services like some support in terms of counseling and whatever, and then they were able to stand and resist any other pressure or any other suffering which could lead them to die very, very quickly. And so these people who were saved, they are today the living witness to that care from the different centers where we are working, and then they are witness to again to the God's love from which all the African or the Jesuits, they are really they are working, being on that mission of imaging Christ who is compassionate, imaging Christ who is caring, imaging Christ who is constantly taking care of those who are vulnerable. And the other aspect of that we celebrate is that we recognize that the idea of starting this work as a network to work together as a body, it was really a good idea, because today we can see that there are really fruits. And even though today we still have needs of continuing the same work, but we can see that really since the start until today, there are really good fruits, and which are really consoling. And so we're saying that the significance is also to show that it was a good decision, deciding that AJAN start in Africa, and that the Jesuits should open their eyes, they should open their ears to see that AIDS is really a threat to us, and that something should be done. And so it was really good to decide that, okay, we need to answer to that call of those who are suffering, and they did. And so people are really happy those who are benefiting from the service of AJAN, and we think we want really to celebrate that, and then and I said, and also be able to inspire one another from what we are doing. There are some who are involved in much more in providing healthcare, others are more involved in education, and so that sharing of experience is also a source of more inspiration, more new ideas and new perspective from where we can do better or improve what we are doing. Jesuits, they have a mission, and that mission is promoting faith and justice. So if we look at that mission, then we see that AJAN is part of that mission. AJAN is a network, AJAN is centers affiliated who are on the ground. They are really contributing to that global or universal mission of the Society of Jesuit, and in particular in Africa, where AJAN is working. And so that mission of promoting faith and justice is also the mission of Jesus, is the mission of the church. And so AJAN importance is really to bring about holiness. I'm talking of the whole human being being taken care of. The holiness that, bringing holiness to the people who are infected by the HIV and all who are affected by HIV. And again, holiness to the young people who are facing a lot of challenges. And that was actually the mission of Jesus himself, bringing fighting so that the human person remains whole. And so AJAN really wants to bring back that holiness to the human being, especially those who are suffering from HIV and AIDS, TB, leprosy, and the young people who are also facing many challenges which are preventing them to live their life to the full, to live a joyful life. The other importance is that we at AJAN, we don't look at numbers. You will see that sometimes people, they say, okay, we have only 10 people suffering from this disease. So people will say that is not a problem. But for us, we don't look at numbers, we look at names, because all the numbers that if you look at the statistic of the HIV today, okay, you will see numbers, and some countries or some people will say, okay, because the number is going down, then we are fine. So for us, we don't look at number, we look at names, because those names, they are linked with relations, they are linked with one single person is a network of relations, and when that single human person is affected, then all his network is affected. And so we look at the names, we look at individuals in particular, and so that is also another aspect, I could say, the importance of AJAN today, bringing that aspect of not looking only at numbers, but looking at the individuals and work so that we are able to save everybody. Even if it's only one person who is still suffering, we are able to, that people are able to really engage themselves, they are really to commit themselves to really save that single person. So that is, I could say, in brief, the importance of our work today. I have really plenty of dreams. There are many. And one of them is that I want really to see AJAN as a network, AJAN as a secretariat, AJAN as a Jesuit engagement, has the African voice, which can be heard on the level of the African nation in terms of dealing with HIV and AIDS, and in terms of taking care of the young person. And the other dream is that to see really that network being self-sustainable in terms of resources, financially and also in terms of human resources, so that we are able, all those put together, we are able really to have good results and impact on our continent. The other dream I have is to see really all the centers affiliated to the network, to AJAN, to see them again, to see their action being expanded. So from where they are, so it can expand and becomes a national action. So I really dream also to see that happen. And again, the other dream is to see that all our centers bring their services close to the beneficiaries. And I will call this having mobile clinics, which are be able, instead of people traveling long distances to access the service, now with these clinics they are able to go where people are, be close to them, and then they receive the service, and from there they are able to vacate in their activities. And the other dream is really to see that the young people, they are kept away of new infections, because it's really a pity today when they tell you that, okay, the new infection they are found among people aged 12 to 25. And so I really want to see that change or that stop. And I believe that we can do that, and we are able to reach it. And then the other dream is really to see that all the people who are infected with HIV, that they access medical services and treatment, which is not yet today a reality. In some countries, yes, they are doing really well. Others, they are really struggling. And so our dream is to see that every single person, once who is infected, is also accessing all the services needed, so that that person is saved and that person is also kept healthy. And in being healthy, the person will be able to produce for herself and for the community. And the last, not the least, is to see our program, AJAN HIV and AIDS Prevention Program for the youth. This is happy to see that program being adopted by the national governments as a program that could be taught in classes, so that our young people, they are really accompanied. They are accompanied, and in being accompanied very well, then they will be able to be young people who are living out of principles, they are living out of values, they are living out of virtues. And from there, they will be able to protect themselves against any challenges or any abuse that they could find on their way, because it's just an appeal to our partners and to all the world that HIV and AIDS, even though people are not talking about it much, it's really a problem for Africa today. It's a threat to our young people and even our communities. And so it's an appeal that we don't really get tired. Yes, I know that it has been a long time since the fight started and so forth, more than 30 years. But we need to wake up again and put our hand together and continue fighting, and especially focusing on the young people who today are really at risk because they are exposed to a lot of messages, they're exposed to a lot of practices which are really risk to them and which are exposing them to contract HIV and AIDS and even contract sexual infection transmitted, which are also a problem to the young people once they are now involved in when they get married and they have been facing this. If they are not treated well, then it brings other problem. And so my message is that we are not at the level of getting discouraged, but we want really to continue working together as one person and mobilize whatever we have as resources, funds and human resources, so that we are able to work together. And again, another one is an appeal to the church as a body, to the pastoral agents, that they are also involved in fighting against HIV, accompanying the young people in the real way, so that they are really kept away from getting involved in any kind of violence, in any infection, HIV or any other sexual infection that will affect their lives and affect the lives of the others.
As the president of Jesuits in Africa, thanks donors for support.
It's very important that we realize that AJAN could not have survived and thrived this well these past 20 years without the support of so many people of goodwill. And so on the occasion of its 20th anniversary, I want to be the first to thank all the benefactors, the benefactresses, the donors, people who have been our partners in mission, and through whose generosity, abundance of generosity, AJAN has been able to achieve many of its goals. We cannot name names, but we know that there are many people, organizations, institutions that have supported AJAN, and I want to assure them that AJAN continues to be a willing partner in this mission.
There is a rest, I must run. There is victory to be won. Give me power every hour to be done. There is a rest, I must run. There is victory to be won. Give me power every hour to be through. There is a rest, I must run. There is victory to be won. Give me power every hour to be through. Doom doom do do doom 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 doom do do doom 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 do do doom 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 do do 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 doom doom do do. There is a rest, I must run. There is victory to be won. Give me power every hour. There is a rest, I must run. There is victory to be won. Give me power every hour to be through. There is a rest, I must run. There is victory to be won. Give me power every hour to be through. There is a rest, I must run. There is victory to be won. Give me power every hour to be through. There is a rest, I must run. There is victory to be won. Give me power